Anne grows sweet potatoes, but grows the traditional varieties. These are good, but there is another variety that is even better. To tell us more is an expert from the International Potato Center. So Anne, you told me you grow sweet potatoes.
Of course.
Have you ever heard of orange sweet potatoes?
Yes.
Have you ever eaten them?
Yes.
Are they nice?
Very nice.
Anyway, I brought to you here an expert who is going to make you a great farmer growing orange sweet potatoes. Am I correct?
The orange is very important because when you look at these two sweet potatoes, one is white, the other one inside, if you look at it inside, you'll find some orange color.
Ah.
I don't know whether you have ever heard of vitamin A.
Yes.
So when we eat something with vitamin A, it gives us more power to fight diseases. It's also important for our eyes. I mean, when you look at my eyes, I have glasses. And when I look at all of you, you don't see any glasses.
Yes.
That also could be an impact of vitamin A. When I was growing up, I may not have eaten a lot of food which are rich in vitamin A, like orange flesh sweet potato. But more so, vitamin A is more important when we talk about children. Because children, when they are growing from the age of 1 to 5 years, is when they grow at the fastest rate. And because they are growing very fast, they need more vitamin A because at that particular moment, they don't have a lot of immunity in their body.
Wow.
So because they don't have immunity in their body, there are some diseases which are easily affect them. We find them having diarrhea. We find them having malaria. And all these which kills a lot of children. So because of that, we find that if you have vitamin A, then it gives you an immune booster which helps you to fight these diseases.
Wow, so this is highly recommended.
This is highly recommended. So what we are actually saying is that because you need vitamin A capsule and you can only get it in the hospital or you go buy it in the shop, why don't you grow your own capsule of vitamin A? Wow. And you can only grow it by having sweet potato which grows everywhere.
Wow, that's very beneficial and very interesting. But how many sweet potatoes does Anne have to eat to get the vitamin A, a whole bag?
You only need between 100 grams and 125 grams. And the way we look at it is that it's difficult for you to go and always measure that amount. Yes. We look at the feast. If you're eating your food, any food, whether you're eating rice, whether you're eating your nice ugali or nzima, whichever it is, or you're eating your nice githeri, if you can put sweet potato, which is the same size with a small feast like this, that is enough to supply you your daily requirement of vitamin A. That means it is good for a kid as well as for an adult.
That's very good information. Good information. Anne, any questions?
How do you plant this sweet potato?
You look for land which in the previous growing season, you did not have orange flesh sweet potato or any sweet potato. And that means you avoid diseases. What we eat in sweet potato is a root. So for you to get good roots, you need a little bit loose soil. And that's why we create ranges. And that ranges, then you get a bigger harvest than if you have to grow it on a flat land like this.
What is the space between a ridge and the other?
What we really look for is a range needs to be 1 meter across. So 1 meter across, but when it talks about the length, it can be any length depending on the plot size. It's very important to think about what type of a vine to use. So you select the one which doesn't have any diseases and the one which looks healthy. And then, as I said, when you go then to plant it, you don't plant many vines on the same planting hole. I've seen many people planting say, well, we want a lot of sweet potato. So how do we get it? We get it by planting many of them on the same hole. It's not good.
Wow, that's very informative. Yeah. I think the best thing is we plant this and you demonstrate to us how it's done.
Okay, thank you.
Are we ready to plant, Anne?
Yes.
Let's start planting them. When planting orange flesh sweet potatoes, make ridges 1 meter apart by digging and raising the soil. Choose vines about 30 centimeters in length and from the top section. Plant 2/3 of the vine in the soil with 2 nodes in and at least one out. The vines are planted 30 centimeters apart.
After cutting the sweet potato, the vines they can feed them on the animals. So that is one product. The other product is that after grinding the sweet potato, there are some remains which remains there. So you can use them to feed your cows, you can use them to feed your goats, you can use them to feed your pigs. But then also the sweet potato itself, the root, now the good quality, you can take it to the supermarket and it can be sold as a root. Now in many other places you'll find sweet potato can be used to make chapati, bread, cakes, jam. Orange fresh sweet potato, we are using it to make biscuit. We are using it to make a juice, which is very rich in vitamin A. We can actually even make things like this. Because if you look at this one, if I told you this was made out of sweet potato, you can't believe it.
I can't. I'm still not believing this.
You cannot believe this is made out of sweet potato.
Absolutely. What is this?
And it is a sweet potato cake.
A cake.
A sweet potato cake, which is made a little bit differently. So you can taste it and you find it's as good.
Wow.
So it's very, very important to know that it has many other uses. So your imagination, your imagination is the limit.
So, Anne, you've heard from the expert.
Of course.
Yeah. And then maybe you can make yourself some cakes and spaghetti. And speaking of cakes, I might need a cup of tea to enjoy this. Right? Okay.